I've been holding off on this one for quite a while, and I think it's time we get it done. Alright, suspension tutorial. We're going to do independent suspension only. The other suspension, I have a tutorial, it's been out forever. Now the two types you're going to have to make are non-steering, which is going to be made out of these three parts, and steering, which you have to use a different type of box, and that's the only difference. And yes, we're going to do it with just 3 props. We're going to do 2 wheels with an independent suspension. Now, whip out your easy weld. Let's pull these into the middle of the room. Stand up the props like so. And yes, I'm using plastic. You don't have to use the metal. As long as you increase the weight of these, which I'll do now, to 250. As long as you increase the weight of them, they will work fine. There will be no problems. They just won't make metal clanking sounds. Now, easy weld. Just like that. You don't have to go to the very center if you don't want to. You'll see later on this can be done either way. Now, stacker. Grab stacker, and you need to stack. It's probably going to be up. No, it's going to be down. We're stacking down away from the chassis, and we're going to add a little bit more. That's too much. And then we got to go down, which is, that isn't down. That's down. That might be a little bit too low though. So, find your happy spot. That's about right. And now remove the original panels, which means you have to re-weight these, because stacker doesn't carry weight. Alright. Now, doesn't matter if I welded them with stacker, because I just removed the originals. And now all it's left to do is rope and elastic. And this can be, that's all it takes. Pick a nice length, width I mean. Black I prefer, rigid, it's important. And just go from, get to my cursor, corner on the outside of the plate. So, try to line it up. Since this is a non-steering, you could actually almost go to the outside. Go here to there. Same thing. There to there. And now the bottom, same thing. I'm going across the chassis so that these can be closer together. If I want from here to this side, they have to be much further out, and you have to add another piece to put elastic. Now I'm going to stay on this spot, click again, and then go back to the opposite, which is here. And then, again, from there, I'm going to make a cross brace of rope like that. So that'll keep it from sliding back and forth. Now let's do the whole side. Elastic, constraining, 50, it's not going to be heavy enough. 45,615. I like to make it look like that because it's the most spring-like looking thing. Now, since this is a non-steering version, all you have to do is, you could actually put 2 elastics, which means I could lower this down. There's a looks thing, and 25,307. So now you go from the outside again, because that's where the wheel is going to attach. From there to, oh Jesus, I don't know, here. And then that's center 1, 2, center 1, 2. From there back down to here. Now that's just one side. Do exactly the same thing you just did on this side, which I'm not going to film out the time. Let me just do it. There, done. That actually only took like 45 seconds with a better frame rate. Now, this is done. This is officially done. No, it's not. Not done. Don't let this go yet. You need one more elastic. And this one's got to be full strength. So 50,000. It could actually be more than full strength. 50,615. Can make it narrower though. Yeah, thanks for fixing that, Gary. Now you go from the center of this plate to the center of this plate. And what that'll do is when you drop this, it'll keep the two legs from going, you know, it'll hold everything much better. More like a sway bar than you can imagine. Now, we're not done with this. The reason my suspensions work so well is because I use advanced ball socket a lot. The monowheel settings, which are this. Crap, I'm filming this in the wrong resolution. Oh well. Alright, minimum, X minimums, up to 180. All the minimums go up, all the maximums go all the way down. Put free movement on. No collide, doesn't matter. No friction. And what we're going to do is we're going to ball socket from this to there, and from this to there, and then again from there all the way around. Now let's put wheels on. The only wheels that really fit this size suspension are these combine wheels. You could try to build this with something a little less, well, I know like a lot of you have fucking phobias of Phoenix for some reason. And you could build it smaller, but, and this is a big but, the height of this piece has to be the same as the height of this piece, or the geometry will be wrong. And the suspension will kick up and down and be crooked. Put that there. Put that there. Okay, now is that a quarter turn because there's bad marks on this. Go back to advanced ball socket. Ball socket the wheels together. This means they will spin at the same time, but they also won't twist away from each other. And of course it doesn't weigh enough to actually show it off, but there you go. And if it looks like it's bouncing, just increase the dampening however you want it to. Alright, next. This front suspension is actually simpler to build than that one. This one looks very complicated, but as you saw, it was like, what is it, 6 ropes per side. They're just colliding and make a very cool spiroscope pattern. Same thing. Alright, same thing with this side. Exact same setup. Stacker, increase the weight. Remove the originals. Alright, rope tool. Now instead of going from the corners to make this a steering assembly, we're going to go from the center out. And now you can go also anywhere you want. I'll go to the same points we did before. It'll be a little smarter for this one. So I've basically just made 2 V's. Now because I've done this, I don't have to do any cross bracing. And let's do both of them this time. Alright. Roping is done. There's only 4 ropes. Elastic. Slightly higher than normal because there is only going to be one on this side. 55,615. And the width is up to you. But now you only put one in the very center at the bottom, the very center of the top. Alright, ball sockets. Now we can't ball socket to the frame because the frame isn't turning. We can ball socket to each other. Now, making this steerable. I guarantee you it'll bounce up and down, and these panels will turn on each end. Now I have to make it steerable. We're going to use the wire hydraulic for that. Now, what we're going to do is, when you do a wired hydraulic, they'll be weak unless you increase the weight of the panels you're attaching the hydraulics to dramatically. In this case, we're going to increase it to, let's say, nearly 2,000. So 2,000 for that, and that. I will be lowering that later, don't worry about it. But for now, we need it. So hydraulic, non-fixed, whatever color and width you want. And you're going to go from the center of this on the back, I'm assuming that's the front, to here. That keeps everything in line with the other ropes. So bottom to bottom, top to top, center to center. And put the controller wherever. Put it out of the way. Okay, same thing. Middle. Middle. Controller. Alright, let's add the wheels. Which again, we're going to ball socket these. And these weigh 500. By the way, these particular wheels spawn at 500. So, you may want to lower those after you've accessed them. Leave weight on when you're accessing something, and then lower it. Because it will be a stronger axis. Same isn't true for welds. Welds, you could just raise the weight afterwards. Ball socket. So the only ball socket in this piece is the white panels together and the wheels together. Do not do wheel to white panel, because the white panel doesn't spin. Alright. I could just let this down now and then do the steering test, but let's... Oh, I forgot an elastic, didn't I? Alright. Forgot that critical elastic I kept telling you about. Alright, same thing. Center to center. And now when I pick it up, let them quite go as close together. But that's fine. As long as your car isn't flying, everything should be perfectly fine. And again, you could always add more constant. And actually, if you push this down and hit reload with the elastic gun, it'll just remove all the elastic and you could redo it again. It'll remove, if you click reload elastic on this panel, these two will be removed, and then you can do it again, respawn it, whatever the hell you feel like till you're happy. But right now, let's get the actual steering working. Now, the way I do it with wire is I've written a little expression, which I'm going to have to edit anyway to get it to work in this, because it is different for every one of them. Hydro steering, there it is. And I'm going to need an input, not an advanced input, dual input of standard settings of 1 and -1. No non-toggle. Pick the left right keys. Alright. Now what this is calling for is dual input. And that's that. And then it's going to call for the 2 hydraulic lengths to this, which I'm not going to give it yet because I have to reprogram the expression to use these particular elastics. And all this is 3 lines, which you can't see because I have the wrong resolution on. I'll post them in underneath the tutorial. And basically, the first line has 2 lengths that are the same. It says left, right are equal to, and whatever it is. And you have to put the length of these hydraulics. They should be real close. 73.67, 73.67. They're actually identical, which is pretty much the first time that's ever happened. So now, that is the default length. That is going straight ahead. That is what we want when you don't hit anything on the dual input. So type in on the top line, left equals 76 point... Shit, I can't remember. 67? Where am I? And I left the point out, which would suck. And 76 point... Be precise. If you tell it 76, that's Still 3/4 of an inch it's going to try to fuck with. And now, the left and right control lengths are the two numbers below it, and those got to be different in either direction. So when you hit a button, the right one will get slightly longer and the left one will get slightly shorter. And then the line below that is the opposite. So let's see, if we're at 76.67, let's go 80, go 20? Yeah, we'll go 20. We'll go 96. And you don't have to do 0.67 here. 96 and 76, 56. Let's try that. The bottom gets 56 and 96. And that should be it. Unless I wired it backwards, which I won't know until I hook it up. There's that. Updated, and now we just hook the controllers up. This should be left, and this should be right. And let's see if I screwed up. Oh, I still have the weight up. That's why it's sagging so bad. Why don't you people tell me this? God. As Gambit was saying. Lower the weight, again to 250, and when you raise the weight up and apply a hydraulic, lowering the weight too low will cause it to freak out. So if you put it up to 2,000 and build something slightly different than this, and you lower the weight to 250 and it starts freaking out, make the parts you have the hydraulics that you weigh more, 300, whatever it takes to stop from freaking out. This will not freak out because I've built it before. And now test steering. Hey, look at that. I even wired it correctly. And all that's doing right now, and it'll work at any geometry because, again, everything lines up. Center to center. Oh, and the wheel's still way too much. Let's lower the wheel weight. I actually did 125 on a lot of my stuff. It seems stupid to make something way more than that. And now let's join the halves and finish this cool looking car, which is exactly the same as my Combine Racer, actually, and how it was built. I just built it in one piece instead of two. Easy weld. There's nothing that could possibly go wrong when I do this. Yeah. And actually, you see, you could have moved the steering wheels slightly forward. But then the elastics would have become longer, and I don't like really long... Not elastics, hydraulics. I don't like when hydraulics are really long. But if you moved it forward far enough, you could just hook from here to the center column. Which is actually why I had to spawn this one instead of that one. But I forgot. Sue me. I hope that's... Yeah, I may have made the front elastic slightly too strong. No matter. You could adjust that later. Should put a thruster on this. Alright, let's go do some testing with it. Screw it. I'll show you how I fix my mistakes, which I made, obviously. Squeeze it down against the ground to where you want it. And let's redo all the elastics. Take out your elastic gun. Reload on the panel. Reload on the panel. Reload on the panel. And reload on the panel. Now there's no elastics holding this up. If I let go, then she's going to fall right to the floor. That'll be it. I'm not going to show you me redoing this because it's a trade secret. But I'm going to redo... My cat just fell. I'm going to redo... and fucked my keyboard up. There you go. 500 instead of 600. I'm going to redo the all elastics and then we'll take this for a test. Alright, elastics done. Let's give it a test. Much better than new. Although it does look kind of silly with the wheels so close together. Let's give it a drive. Standard thruster. I don't feel like digging around. Now I would put the thrusters for this like so. That gives you a little bit of a twist forward. Ah, almost forgot the most important part. Making wheels turn doesn't do jack shit. Here, watch. Note it goes straight ahead. That's wonderful. If you're using wheel power, it will probably work much better. I'm not using wheel power, I just use axis wheels. If you use real wheels, I suspect you'll get better results. So what I suggest doing, if you don't use real wheels, is do the same thing I did and put your thrusters here. You're still turning with the wheels, just giving them a slight boost. Now I only need one thruster here. There you go. Alright, let's take a trip to the off-road course. Over the train tracks. Now, keep in mind, if you think this thing is bobbing up and down too much, the body probably doesn't weigh enough, which this is pretty much a stripped out frame. So 250 may not be enough. Let's make the weight of the frame 400 apiece. And it should sink down as soon as I touch it. Yeah, that's fine. Now, keep this in mind about this. The wheels are too close together, so she's going to bob up and down like a friggin' apple. That's number one. Number two, she's being powered by standard thrusters, which I haven't adjusted, so it may look retarded. Yep, looks retarded. Not bad, considering I built it in like, I don't know, 15 minutes. And that is my suspension tutorial. You just go look at my Combine Racer and you'll see this after you actually work on it and get the weights right and don't use loud, ugly, regular thrusters. And do not fear the expression gate. It is a simple and easy to use tool. My new expression gate tutorial will be coming up shortly. Alright, see you then. That's a gate catchphrase. Someone else think of a catchphrase and please comment it at the bottom of this video. Because Tricky's got, have fun out there you guys, and I don't want to say that. And what I just said was stupid. Think of something awesome, put it in the comment, and I'll use it every time, if it wins.